This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Sean Preston.
Welcome, everybody, to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today, we have a great neighbor, a lovely neighbor on with us, and that is the lovely Teodora Holom from Century 21. How are you, love?
I'm good. It's very good to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Happy to be here. Always happy to be around you and have a conversation. A good colleague of mine, I want to ask you, tell me about those trophies I'm seeing at the top. I'm a big trophy guy myself.
Oh, well, I'm sitting in my office. So yes, those are the trophies from Century 21. Yeah, so they're based on performance. And you can get one of those good-looking Oscars every year if you work hard.
Nice, very good. Well, I see I can already count 4 or 5 up there. I think that speaks volumes. Something I already knew about. For our listeners on the show, they don't, however, so why don't we dive right into it? I want you to tell us a little bit about your business.
Right. So I'm in the business of real estate, but I'm in a business of helping people. And I help people downsizing, I help people relocating, and I also help with estates. So I have a little bit kind of a niche of people that I work with. But throughout my career, I work with first-time home buyers, investors, you name it, upsizing, downsizing, anything in between. So I have lots of experience in the GTA market and beyond that, especially with COVID, people started moving further and further away from the city. So I got to know all these markets. But I'm in Barrie right now, where I also relocated myself and my family. So I specialize in downsizing. Downsizing. It's for different reasons that someone can downsize, right? And it's a can be a very stressful and complex process. But if you plan and organize efficiently, it can work very well in your favor. Now I have a little bit of a guide and customized plan for all the clients that are going through this process for different reasons. Sometimes people downsize, the house is too big, or they want to access more of the equity that they have and fund their own business, or buy a secondary property for future use when they retire. So there's different ways that you can look at downsizing. Now, this process of downsizing involves a lot of other services. So when you look from the outside, I do have access to a lot of contacts in the area. You need cleaning services, which can be helpful. You need handyman services before you list a house, so you can make it more appealing. Estate sales company, let's say you have a lot of items to sell, so there's companies that can come and take that over. You need storage solutions, even through the personal concierge. Let's say people want to have someone to run their errands, or buy groceries, or help with travel plans, whatever you name it, all the services, including, of course, the plumbers, electricians, roofers. So all that becomes a part of the whole process when you look at downsizing. I also help with estate sales. Now, most of the services, you can compare with downsizing, but with estate sales, I deal directly with the executors of the estate. So the process is a little bit different. I find that it's a tremendous help for executors. Some of them don't have time to look into everything that's needed to get a house ready for the market and sell it. And sometimes they're so emotionally involved. If the executor is also the beneficiary of the estate, they just need that extra help to make sure that everything goes smoothly and everything is taken care of. So those are my two niche, and of course relocation. I've moved many families, especially during COVID, further away from the city, and a lot of them to Barrie. So that's how I discovered Barrie myself, and I just love it here, and uh, I'm passionate about it. I think it's one of the greatest cities where you have everything that you need, right? You have the lake, you have anywhere you live in Barrie. That's what I like, is you're minutes away, you're on the lake. Summertime, you can do whatever you want, water activities. And then the same thing wintertime, right? The ski hills are right there. So again, minutes, you can be outside all the times. Then you have all the beautiful trails that you can walk. Springtime, let's say now, right? It's not ski season, is not kind of boating season. What do? Just go out in the nature. The trails can be right behind your backyard. So that's what I love about Barrie. Now, because I went through the process myself, I research neighborhoods and schools and what communities are around and all that. So um, all those questions I'm happy to assist with. So those are kind of my three niche. I took a lot of the time, but that's what I specialize in. But that doesn't mean that I don't do anything outside of that. That's basically in the how many 10 minutes what I do.
I normally, just for the record, have to most of the time pry. Or that question is over in about 2 minutes. We're almost at 8. I would normally pry to get up to about the 8-minute marker, just so that people need to properly kind of know a little bit about, or specifics of what the business is, why do they make them different, that kind of thing. Whereas with you, I didn't have to do that. So very good. Now, I thought this would be a great opportunity for me, being the curious cat that I am, because I got that super amazing long email from you last year when you first discovered the Art of Bluffs Living magazine. And now you are a part of it. You've lived there. You've been on the front cover of the magazine. You are our real estate expert. And you mentioned there when you were talking in your opening comments about how real estate helped you find Barrie. And one of the questions we ask on the show is, tell us about your journey. How and why did you get into doing what you're doing? So I want you to talk about that journey, but I'd also like you to add in that piece on how you find Barrie and give me a little bit more specifics, because I find that very fascinating.
Mhm. Yes. So my journey into real estate, it's hardly that it's very, very rare that you will find someone that straight out of high school goes into real estate. So all the real estate agents you'll meet, they'll have a background in something else. They did something else before real estate. I did real estate legal before real estate sales. So I have quite a bit of experience on how the legal process goes behind the scene of what is involved in that real estate transaction from a legal perspective. So after all my years in that field, I thought of venturing into something new, but also keeping a lot of the knowledge that I had that helped me a lot in sales in real estate. So I made this transition just a little bit over 10 years ago, and I'm a full-time real estate agent. I'm also a broker. I also manage one of our offices, so I do have a little bit of a busy schedule. But when you really like what you do, it doesn't feel like work, right? My work, it never ends. Yes, when I take a vacation, then I want it to just be a vacation. But other than that, weekends, evenings, holidays, doesn't matter. Real estate is real estate, right? So yes, then in searching for a new place for a smaller community, a kind of a safer environment for my kids, um, I, I kept moving people to Barrie, and then all of a sudden, and I look around and I said, this is perfect. This has everything that I'm looking for. Like it was in my face for so many years. And then I just realized you have everything that you need right there, everything that you need. So yes, that was my journey, and I ended up in a beautiful community. Although I research all the neighborhoods in Barrie, and there's many, many beautiful places where you can find a home in Barrie. I ended up in Ardagh Bluffs, and not long after we moved there, I got this magazine in, and I was just blown my mind that this is exactly what I was looking. It was like the last piece of the puzzle. I'm like, this is what means bringing community together. I mean, this is such a unique. I've never seen it from where I relocated from. And I said, this is where I have to be. I have to be there. I want to know my neighbors. I want to be part of the community. This is so interesting. And the other very interesting fact about Barrie, as a business owner, and even if you don't have a business, there's so many networking events happening. Like every day, there's so many groups you can be part of. That you can engage in so many different activities. You never feel alone. I feel like in this city you can always find a friend. Like there's a thing to do every day, and that's what I like about the community and where we live.
Yeah, 100%. And I started getting involved into it like four months into starting to try to launch the magazine. So around April last year. Mm-hmm. And I was really blown away by how nice everybody is, how everybody wants to help. And, the business community is absolutely fantastic. I now do a lot of it. And I just recently went to another networking event where I've never been. It's been on the bucket list to eventually get out there, because you go to somewhere new and you're figuring like, I'm going to meet more people. And I did, but I also saw a quarter of the people that were there, I've seen them at multitudes of other networking events. So once you kind of get into it, you really enjoy it because the people are so good. But the opportunities are real, from the connections that you can make to help you advance your business, referral partner, alliance partner, future customer. Just really, really cool stuff.
100%. 100%.
So are there any like myths or misconceptions that you get a lot in the real estate world?
Yes. In this world, there are quite a few. I heard this a lot about, you guys, real estate agents, control the prices, and prices are just going crazy. This was just during COVID. But we don't control any of the prices. The market, the supply and demand, the economy, whatever trends are in a specific neighborhood or city, those are the things that dictate the prices. What we do market analysis, we do comparables, we guide clients to make an informed decision about the pricing and the whole selling strategies. But we don't control the prices. We don't have that magic ball. There's quite a few. Of course, that all the real estate agents are the same. You hear that all the time. But everyone is different. They all come with different experiences, with different expertise, with whatever approach they have to their business and their relationship with their clients. Now, some of them will specialize in just first-time home buyers, or just downsizing or upsizing, and some will have different designations. So there's a lot, like everybody should do their own research and of course interview multiple agents to see what is the right fit, what makes sense for my own situation and journey and what I want to achieve, right? I can give you a little bit of some stats from last year. So in 2023, Toronto Real Estate Board is the largest board in Ontario, right? They have 75,500 realtors registered with the Toronto Real Estate Board.
That's crazy.
Now, out of 75,500, 35,800 did zero deals in 2023. 35,800. Now, 30,400 did 1 to 5 deals. Okay, so you have over 65,000 that did max, most of them zero, but max 5 deals. So out of the 75,500, you have 3,600 working, in my opinion. Okay, so that all are the same. When you break it down and you look at the real data, there's a real numbers from the board. That's where we stand as an industry.
Yeah, I would also say too, like knowing what I know now about, well, more about business, more about how it works, more about networking. I'd say if you're ever looking for a realtor or real estate agent, a broker, just go to a networking event. If you find them there, they're the ones that are working.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and they want to always be engaged in the community and with other business owners, right? That's when you're in the game, right?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I've been around a few realtors, close with a couple of them, you being one of them. And so I get to hear these things sometimes. And I wanted to utilize our platform for the people who are listening and let you tell us as much as you'd like. Could be one, could be two or three things of stuff that you hear from people where it just absolutely drives you bonkers. So we're going to call this little section of the podcast, Don't Do This to Realtors, because let's call it an etiquette, right? How to treat your realtor, make sure that you don't do this. What would maybe one thing be that drives you bananas?
Well, the one thing is everybody knows exactly the value of the home without going into any data research and anything that goes behind the pricing. Yes, that is one thing that I would say it's driving me nuts.
You did a wonderful presentation at our last networking event where I'll speak to a bit of it, but obviously you being the expert, you'll know a little bit more. But there's a lot of market trend and research of looking back at particular things that dictate what the value of the home is and the type of market that you're in. All of that factors into what your home is. I think you mentioned there's like three major things, like the value of the home, what the market value is, and what the bank feels like it is as well too.
Yes, that's a cool slide. Yes, how we value properties. Everyone can see a value from their own eyes and perspective, right? And in reality, market value is based on comparables, on market trends, on condition of the house, location. Everything plays a role in the pricing of a home, for sure.
So when you're not working, which I know you work a lot as a real estate realtor, what do you like to do for fun?
For fun, yes. Where would I find the time? I can't say just for fun, but I do have my own book club that I run every month. And in this book club, we read personal development books. We just go over the ideas in one particular book in that month and try to implement either in our, it's not a business group, it's just a book club. So either in our business, whoever has a business in that group, or personal lives, we're trying to take something, one or two things good out of that book and implement in our lives. That's what I really like to host every month. Other than that, I love paddleboarding. Now that the lake I time it 7 minutes from my house. I can't wait for the summer season to start, so I can go on the lake early every morning, as much as I can. So that's one thing that I do for fun, and I love going to concerts. I find that being surrounded by people, and regardless, like I went to tons of concerts. Wherever you are, there's thousands and thousands of people, sometimes 60, 70,000, regardless of what problems they have in their lives or challenges that they're facing. they come there with a positive attitude and a good vibe and with positive energy. And that's where I find that I get my recharge my batteries around people with the positive energy. So I do go to a lot of concerts when I have the chance. Yeah. So those are kind of my fun things.
Julie, Chanel, and I just went to the Matthew Good concert 2 weekends ago. It was east of Toronto, by the beaches, eastern side of the city. And yeah, just a smaller venue. The day after, we heard on the radio he's going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then 7 days later, early last week, we find out that he's coming to Kempenfest this year again. So we get to see him one more time. So
nice.
Very cool. And if I'm not mistaken, your family likes to they like to get on the slopes, do some skiing.
Yes, my kids, both of them snowboard. This year wasn't a great year for snowboarding. We didn't get that much snow, but the year before, I can tell you, they keep track of all the dates that they went skiing. They went snowboarding 40 times. So you can't do that if you live anywhere outside, too far from Barrie. So yes, that's where you have to be if you want to be outside and in the nature and fresh air. I mean, it's amazing for them. It's amazing for kids to be able to spend the time outside without their devices, to make new friends, to have some physical activity. It helps them tremendously.
And for those who are on the video feed watching this podcast, do you want to hold up the front cover of the magazine there? Show your beautiful family.
This is The Art of Blessed Living. This is the family. Yes.
So I know an inside scoop that the photographer tried to get you guys to jump in the pool after.
Yes. That's cool.
Very cool. Okay, so we'll switch gears here a little bit, get on to a little bit more of a serious topic. It's a question that we always ask on the show, allows us to try to have deep, meaningful conversations, allows others to connect and relate with the business owners and businesses that come on our show. So sometimes in life, we don't necessarily get to pick and choose. We do our best to get onto the right path and we try to stay on it. But sometimes life will push and pull us in different directions or throws things in our way. And we have to fight through that. And we have to go through, life hardships and challenges. And I've always been fascinated at the resilience that human beings have, being able to, rise up through those challenges, and then try to find silver linings from it as well too, help give us hope and continue to move forward. So I'm curious to ask if you've ever experienced a hardship or a life challenge that you rose above. Maybe it made you better, maybe it made you stronger, maybe you got some silver linings from it.
Well, I can say I was fortunate. I don't have anything major that has happened, but as a challenge, I can tell you that I moved to Canada 20 years ago. So that was a challenge. I still remember packing 2 suitcases and May 8th is the date actually. Well, you'll never forget the date, right? When decided to make the trip across the ocean. So that was a big challenge. You had to adapt, to embrace change, to face new opportunities. And at the end, that after so many years, that you are always grateful. That's what I feel like. I'm always grateful for what I have. There's always room for more, like everybody's the same, right? But we have to keep grounding ourselves and looking at what we have and just be grateful for the opportunity that we have to live in a country that we live. Nowhere is perfect. So when people are looking, the grass is always greener on the other side. It's not. Just look at the positive and be grateful for all the small things or big things that you achieved in life.
Did you always speak English back in Romania?
No, No.
So you had to learn it as well when you came over.
Yes. So I had to learn the language. I mean, I did take English as a language in high school, right, as a foreign language. But at the same time, I took French, I took Italian, German, Spanish. We were forced to learn Latin, which is a dead language, but because our language is a Latin language, it was mandatory. And I'm like, this is not like, we're not ever gonna use Latin. Let's just focus more on other languages that maybe we can use in this world. But yeah, so those are kind of the languages that I play with in mostly in high school. Yes.
Learning all of those, which one did you have a preference, or did the?
Well, let's be straight. I don't speak all those languages. I just dipped a little bit into all of them. I can understand some of them. I can speak some of them, but English was the main focus. The main focus. I knew English was the language of the world, so focus on that one.
Yeah. Did you have any, like, not a preference, but did you kind of gravitate to any of the other ones as you were kind of learning them? Because I speak French, right? And that's a very hard language to learn. But some people love it, right? Where they just get completely sucked into it, even though everything's ass backwards. It's, like, it's crazy.
Yes. So French, I took French for several years. I can understand a lot. I can speak it. I learned a lot of grammar. The grammar was the focus in school for foreign languages. I really like Spanish, and I tried my best with German, but it is very difficult. Very difficult.
Very cool. Okay, so if anybody is interested in wanting to learn a little bit more about real estate, value of their home done properly, maybe about the book club, I thought that was pretty fascinating as well too, or to know a little bit more about maybe moving to Barrie or downsizing their home or having an estate sale, what is the best way that they can contact you?
The best way, there's many ways. Best way is call me or text me, 647-680-9412. If you just Google my name, Teodora Holom, my website will pop up. You can find me on Instagram with List with Theo, or you can find me if you are a neighbor in Ardac Bluffs. You can find me here every month. So my ad and my contact is there. If you want to join my book club, you can find my Facebook group. It's called Discover Your Story on Facebook, and I can add you to the group. And you have all the information there. And yes, that's where you can find me.
Phenomenal stuff. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. I think everybody who's listening definitely have a solid understanding of not only what you do, but how amazing of a person you are. Thank you so much for doing this. And I'm looking very forward to doing this down the line with you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Midhurst. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpmidhurst.com. That's gnpmidhurst.com or call 705-413-3775.